problems on quadratic equations. Problems on numbers. In the word problems of quadratic equations, we need to do the 3 steps. In the first step, we need to understand the problem properly. Without understanding, we cannot solve the problem. In the second part, we have to keep the things in the standard form of quadratic equation. And the third part, once we get the standard form, we need to factorize to get the things which need to be found out. So what we have to do in the second part is, we will usually, in the problem, we will have 2 unknowns. Let us keep one unknown as x. The unknown number, other unknown, is going to be the relation which they are going to give in the problem, and we need to form a equation by using the condition. That means we have to keep one unknown as x, other unknown according to the relation, and finally we need to form an equation using the condition. Once you form the equation, bring that into the standard form of quadratic equation, then factorize that quadratic equation to get the unknowns. Let us get into the first problem. The product of two numbers is 192 and the sum of these numbers is 28. Find the numbers. There are two numbers. When the product of those two numbers is 192, when you add those two numbers, we are getting 28. We need to find out what are those two numbers. As we discussed earlier, let the one number be x. Then the other number is going to be 28 minus x, because when you add those two numbers, we're going to get 28. If one number is x, the other number is going to be 28 minus x. This is the relation they have given. Then the condition. Then the product of those two numbers. Now the one number is x, other number is 28 minus x. They have given the condition. The product of, let the one number be x, then the other number is 28 minus x. Then their product, they have given this condition now. Product of those two numbers is 192. First number is x, other number is 28 minus x. Product of these two is 198. So after the multiplication with this, 28x minus x square is equal to 192. Therefore, you bring these two towards the right hand side, because we need a positive x square minus 20x plus 192 is equal to 0. This is standard form of quadratic equation. Factorize this, the quadratic equation. So for that we need to split this 28 into two parts, so that when you add you should get minus 28, when you multiply you should get 192, because plus 192 is there, we need to take a minus and minus. Minus 16 minus 12 will give minus 28. When you multiply these two, will get 192. Take out x common in this, x minus 16 minus 12, x minus 16 is equal to 0. Then out of these two, take x minus 16 as common, left out with x minus 12 is equal to 0. X is equal to 16 or x is equal to 12. Therefore, hence the required numbers are 12 and 16. Find two natural numbers which differ by 4 and sum of whose squares is 170. They are giving two natural numbers. The difference between these two is 4. If it is 1, other is going to be 5. 1 plus 4. So sum of whose squares, the squares of those two natural numbers is going to be 170. Let us keep one natural number as x, then other natural number is going to be x plus 4. This is the relation. This is we are keeping, assigning, let the one natural number be x, then according to the relation we are keeping the other natural number. Find two natural numbers which differ by 4. So there are two unknowns, two natural numbers. The one natural number be x, then other natural number is going to be the relation which they have given here, differ by 4, x plus 4. Then the condition, sum of whose squares is 170. Then the sum of their squares, that is first natural number square, x square plus x plus 4 whole square is equal to 170. This is the condition. We understood the problem, then assigned one unknown as x and other unknown we kept it according to relation. Then this is the condition, the sum of their squares, x square plus x plus 4 whole square is equal to 170. Up till if you have done correctly, then rest is going to be very easy. Then keep this equation in standard form, then factorize it. This one, x square, expand this x plus 4 whole square is equal to x square plus 8x plus 16 minus 170. When you bring it this side, it will going to be minus 170. Then x square plus x square is 2x square, the 8x, then minus 170 plus 16 will give minus 154, that is equal to 0. Expand this in such a way that when you add, you should get 8x plus 8x. When you multiply, before that let us divide whole, because all are even numbers, divide by 2. When you divide the whole thing by 2, x square plus 4x minus 77 is equal to 0. This is in standard form. So you split this 4x in such a way, when you add you should get plus 4x, when you multiply you should get 77. X square plus 11x minus 7x will give 4x. When you multiply, 11 into 7 will give 77, plus into minus is minus, 77 is equal to 0. Factorize this. Take out x common, x plus 11 minus 7. When you take out x, minus will become plus 11 is equal to 0. Take common out of these two, x plus 11, x minus 7 is equal to 0. X plus 11 is equal to 0, or x minus 7 is equal to 0. X is equal to minus 11 or x is equal to 7. So we take x is equal to 7, neglecting x is equal to minus 11, because so minus 11 is not a natural number. Then the two natural numbers are 7. Then other number is going to be x plus 4, that is 11. The two natural numbers are 7 and 11. 50 is divided into two parts such that the sum of the reciprocals is 1 by 12. Find the two parts. Let us keep one unknown as x, the other unknown according to the relation. Let one part of 50 be x, then the other part is 50 minus 6. When you add, when 50 is divided into two parts, so one part of 50 is x, let one part of 50 be x, then the other part is going to be 50 minus x. This is the relation. Then we'll see what is the condition they have given. The sum of the reciprocals is 1 divided by 12, 1 by 12. Thus, then sum of their reciprocals, reciprocal of the first part plus the reciprocal of the second part, reciprocal of the first part plus the reciprocal of the second part is equal to 1 by 12. This is the condition they were given. See, we kept one unknown as x, then we found out 50 minus x as the other unknown, because it is the relation between those two. Then this is the condition, sum of their reciprocals 1 is equal to 1 by 12. Once you get this equation, convert this into a standard form of quadratic equation, then factorize, you will get the answer. Take the LCM of LHS. LCM is x into 50 minus x, then this goes here, 50 minus x, this goes here, plus x is equal to 1 by 12, x get cancelled. So this 12 50s are 600, then this goes this side, cross multiply, x into 50 minus x. So bring this one this side, this x into x, x square, when this comes this side, plus x square, 50x, when this comes that 50x minus 50x plus 600 is equal to 0. This is in the standard form of quadratic equation. Once you get into the standard form of quadratic equation, then factorize it, split this minus 50x in such a way that, so when you add you should get minus 50x, when you multiply you should get plus 600, then it's going to be minus and minus. So minus into minus is plus, 30 into 20 will give 600. So take out x as common in this, x minus 30 minus 20 as common, this will become x minus 30 is equal to 0. Out of these two, x minus 30 is common, the left out is x minus 20 is equal to 0. Equate these two 0, then x will be 30 and x will be equal to 20. When 50 is divided into two parts, 50 is divided into two parts as 30 and 20. A positive number is divided into two parts. It is a positive number divided into two parts such that the condition they are giving, sum of the squares of the two parts is 208. Then one more condition, the square of the larger part. See that positive number is divided into two parts. The square of the larger part is 18 times the smaller part. Square of the larger part is 18 times the smaller part of the positive number which is divided. Taking x as the smaller part of the two parts, find the number. They have given the smaller part as x. Then we have to assume the larger part. The square of that larger part is going to be 18 times the smaller part, which is x. Let the smaller part be x, which they have already given, and the larger part be y. See, this is the relation between these two. Then the condition, sum of their squares, let the smaller part be x and the larger part be y. Then sum of their squares of the two parts is 208. We assumed the two parts, which positive number is divided into two parts. This is smaller parts and this is larger part. Sum of their squares, this is the condition, x square plus y square is equal to 208. Sum of their squares of the two parts is 208. X square plus y square is equal to 208. Then the other condition, they have given two conditions here. The square of the larger part, which is the larger part, y is the larger part, square of that is equal to 18 times. Larger part is 18 times the smaller, 18 times the smaller part is x. This is the second condition. We have two equations from 1 and 2. So x square, in place of y square, we are going to replace with 18x, that is equal to 208. So we came to this equation, we formed an equation. Convert this into a standard form of quadratic equation. X square plus 18x, when this comes this side, minus 208 is equal to 0. This is standard form of quadratic equation. See, we assigned the unknowns, then according to the conditions we formed the equations, then after forming an equation, we converted that equation into a standard form. Once if you done up till here properly, the rest it will become easy. Only the factorization is left out to find out the unknowns. X square plus 18x minus 208, this is the standard form of quadratic equation. Split this 18x in such a way that when you add you should get 18x, when you multiply you should get minus 208. Then it has to be plus and minus. X square plus 26x minus 8x minus 208. When you add these two, you will get plus 18x. When you multiply these two, you will get minus 208. Then take out x common in this, x plus 26 minus 8 common in this, x plus 26 equal to 0. X plus 26 as common, left out is x minus 8 is equal to 0. Equate these two equal to 0. Then x is equal to minus 26 and x is equal to 0. We cannot take x is equal to minus 26 because we are dividing the positive number. Then x is equal to 8 is the this thing. Therefore, x is equal to 8. Other part is y. From 2 which is y square is equal to 18x. So we get y square is equal to 18 into x is 8. That will become 44. Therefore, y is equal to square root of 144, which is equal to 12. The required number is, we need to add. We cannot keep x and y separately like that because they're asking us to find the number. The number is x plus y. The number is x plus y, that is equal to 8 plus 12 is equal to 20. So before concluding, you should be very careful. You already found out x and y. You should not forget to add these two to find the number. Let us understand the problem first. 3 consecutive natural numbers are such that the square of the middle number exceeds the difference of the squares of the other two by 96. They are telling there are 3 consecutive natural numbers are such that the square of the middle number exceeds the difference of the two squares of the other two by 96. Assume the middle number to be x and form a quadratic equation satisfying the above statement. Solve the equation and hence find 3 numbers. They are telling 3 natural numbers. If you consider 1, 2, 3 are consecutive numbers, natural numbers. If we take this middle number as x, then the previous number is going to be x minus 1. The next number is going to be x plus 1. Then this is x. This is x. What is that they are telling the condition? The square of the middle number exceeds the difference of squares of the other two. Square of this natural number and square of other natural number exceeds by 96. There are 3 consecutive numbers. The condition is such that the square of the middle number exceeds the squares of the difference of the other 2 numbers by 96. Let the middle number be x, then the other two numbers are x plus 1 and x minus 1. Given condition, the square of the middle number is equal to exceeds the difference of the squares by 96. X plus 1 whole square minus x minus 1 whole square plus 96. The equation is formed now. Get this equation into a standard quadratic equation, standard form of quadratic equation. Writing this part is more important. Once you write this, the rest of the problem will become very easy. So you need to focus on this. You need to give more time on this. Once you write this properly, then rest is simple calculation. Then x square, expand this, x plus 1 whole square is a plus b whole square formula, x square plus 2x plus 1 minus, need to be very careful, do not open the bracket because there is a minus sign here, x minus 1 whole square, x square minus 2x plus 1 plus 96, then x square plus 2x minus 1, open this bracket, minus x square, minus into minus plus x, minus into minus is this, plus 96, this x square and this x square got cancelled, plus 1 and minus 1 got cancelled, then bring all these things towards left hand side, x square, 2x plus 2x is 4x, when this comes side, this side is minus 4x, minus 96, when this comes left hand side, it will become minus 96. So we got into the standard form of quadratic equation. Once you get it, then factorize it to find out the unknowns. So this split this 4x in such a way, when you add, you should get this minus 4, when you multiply you should get minus 96. Then we should have minus and plus, minus should have the bigger sign for the bigger value and plus for this. Minus 12x plus 8x will give minus 4x. When you multiply 12 into 8, minus 12 into plus 8 will get minus 96. The x take out common as x minus 12 plus 8 is common, x minus 12 out of these two, x minus 12 is common, then left out is x plus 8, equate that is equal to 0, x minus 12 is equal to 0 and x plus 8 is equal to 0, then we are taking x is equal to 12 because x cannot be equal to minus 8 because all the three are natural numbers. Therefore, three consecutive numbers, or if this is a middle number, x is equal to 12, other two is going to be 11 and 13. Three consecutive numbers are 11, 12 and 13. A two-digit number is such that there is a two-digit number, maybe 12, 13, 14, 15, whatever, two-digit number. The product of the digits, if it is 12, 1 into 2, if it is 25, 2 into 5, like that, is 8. When 18 is added to the number, when you add 18 to that number, then the digits are reversed. When you add for a two-digit number 18, the digits, if it is 15, it is going to be 51. If it is 10, it's going to be 1, like that. If it is 25, it's going to be 72. So when 18 is added to that number, then the digits are reversed. That means whatever result you get, that will be equal to the reversed digits. Find the number. Let us understand in a two-digit number, one number will be in tens place, other number is going to be in the units place. So if you multiply those digits, they are telling it's equal to 8. The product of those two digits, the x is there in the tens place. Therefore, we call it as 10x. Y is there in place of ones place, y into 1. So because the product of these two is 8, we can keep finding out one variable easy. So convert that into a one variable. Therefore, y is equal to y 8 by x we can write. The number is going to be 10x plus 8 by x. Number is going to be 10x plus 8 by x. X plus y. If it is 21, we write 20 plus 1. If it is 35, we write 30 plus 5, like that. In tens place we have x, we can write as 10x. In ones place we have y, we can write in y's place 8 by x, because they have given relation. The product of two digits is 8. In place of y, we are converting that into x form. That is equal to 8 by x. In the first place, in the first condition, there the product of two numbers is 8. The number is going to be 10x plus in y place we are replacing with 8 by x. After reversing, we will see. After reversing the digits, so earlier it was xy, so we are reversed the digits. So y is there in tens place and x is there in x units place. So this is going to be y into 10 and x into 1. Y we already found out, that is by the relation xy is equal to 8, then y is equal to 8 by x. 8, because it is there in tens place, we need to multiply with 10. 10 into 8 is 80 divided by x. The units place there is x, we are keeping x into 1 as x. The reversed number is going to be then 80 divided by x, 8 into x, 8 into 10 by x, 80 by x plus x. The same way, if we are going to write 21 as 20 plus 1, we are writing 8 by x into 10. We are multiplying because this is there in the place of 10. 80 divided by x plus x. We are splitting, that's all. 21 in place of 21 we are writing 20 plus 1, like that. In place of yx we are writing 80 by x plus x. Let the tens digit be x and the units digit be y. Then their product is, this is the condition, xy is equal to 8. From this equation we are finding out y is equal to 8 by x. The value of x in the number is 10x because x is in tens place. The value of y in the number of y in the number is 1y because y is in units place. Then the number is 10x plus y because 21 can be written as 2 into 10 plus 1, 20 plus 1. So 10x plus, we are replacing y by 8 divided by x. Then the other condition, when 18 is added to this number, the digits are reversed. So this is the number. This is the number. 10x plus 8 divided by x is the number. When 18 added to this number, 10x plus 8 by x is the number. When we add the 18 to that number, the digits were reversed. Earlier, the digits were x and y. Here, when they were reversed, it has become yx. So in tens place, we have y. In units place, this can be written as 10y plus x. We are 12 can be written as 21 can be written 20 plus 1, like that. 10y plus x. So we are replacing y with 8 by x. This has become 80 divided by x plus 1. So bring this one towards left. This will become minus 80 by x plus 8 by x will be 72 by x plus 18 plus 18 is equal to 0. When we brought this side, 10x minus x will become minus x. This is the equation we formed according to the conditions. Once you form the equation, then 50% of your 70% of your problem is done. So then convert that into a standard form of quadratic equation. Multiply, there is a x in the denominator, multiply throughout by x, then this will become 9x square. This x and this x will get cancelled. 8 plus 18x minus 72. This is in the standard form of quadratic equation. Once you get into the standard form of quadratic equation, then factorize. Before that you divide with 9 because these 3 can be divided by 9. 9 x square, 9 to the 18, 2x minus 8. So factorize this. This will become x square plus 4x minus 2x minus 8. X is common, x plus 4 minus 2 is common. X plus 4 is equal to 0. So then x is equal to 2 because x cannot be minus 4. Then tens digit is 2 and units digit is 8 divided by x because we have seen that we have taken y as 8 by x according to relation. So we know the value of x. Then 8 by 2 will give 4. Then the number is 24. It is xy. It is xy in place of x. We have 2 in place of y. We have 4. Then the number is 24. The sum of the numerator and denominator of a fraction is 8. There is a fraction. When you add numerator and denominator, that will become 8. The sum of the numerator and denominator of a fraction is 8. If 1 is added to both the numerator and the denominator, the sum of the numerator and denominator is 8. If you add to that fraction to both numerator and denominator, the fraction is increased by 1 divided by 15. Find the fraction. We need to find out the fraction, they are given two conditions here. Let the denominator of the fraction be x. We are taking denominator as x. Then the numerator of the fraction is 8 minus x, because they have given the sum of the numerator and the denominator is 8. If one you take it as x, the other is going to be 8 minus x. We have taken denominator as x and numerator is going to be 8 minus x. Therefore, the fraction, we have assigned the denominator as x. We got this because of this relation 8 minus x. Then we have taken denominator as x. The numerator is going to be 8 minus x. Then for this, we already found out what is the fraction with variable x. Then the second condition is 1 is added to both numerator and denominator. This is the fraction. For this, we are going to add 1 for both numerator and denominator. 1 is added to both numerator and denominator. 8 minus x plus 1, x plus 1 is equal to, so once you add this, the fraction, which is the fraction, is 8 minus x plus 8 minus x divided by x is the fraction. The value of that is going to be increased by 1 divided by 15. If 1 is added to both the numerator and denominator, the fraction is increased by, this fraction is going to be increased by 1 divided by 15 times. Then when we added the 1 to both numerator and denominator, we got this. Then we got the equation here. Then you put this equation into a standard form of quadratic equation. Once you get this, 100% is almost 80% of your job is done. Remaining part is only simple calculations. So you bring this one this side, because there is a denominator, keep 1 by 15 on the right hand side. Then take LCM of these two. When you take the LCM, x into x plus 1, we get in the numerator x into 9 minus x plus 1 into 8 minus x. Right hand side we are keeping like that only. Then cross multiply these two. Then 15 into this, 1 into this. This will become 9x minus x square. You bring in, keep the minus as it is, multiply these two. 8x plus 8 minus x square minus x. So that is equal to x square plus 1, x square plus 1. 15, 9 minus x square. 8x minus x is 7x. When you come out of this, minus 7x minus 8, minus into minus plus x square is equal to x square plus x. This x square, this square got cancelled. 15 we are keeping like that only. 9x minus 7x is 2x minus 8, that is equal to x square plus x. Because there is plus x square on the right hand side, bring these towards right hand side. X square plus x. 15 3 is 30, when this goes that side, minus 30x. 15 8 is 120, when this goes that side, minus will become plus 120 is equal to 0. So keep this in the standard form. X square minus 29x plus 120 is equal to 0. This is in the standard form of quadratic equation. Then factorize. Split this 29 minus 29x in such a way, so when you add two things, you should get 29. When you multiply those two things, we should get 120. Minus 25 or minus 5 will give you minus 29. When you multiply these two, will get 120. You take out x common out of this. X minus 24 minus 5. X minus 24 is equal to 0. X minus 24 as common. Then x minus 5 is equal to 0. Equate these two to the 0. Then x is equal to 5 and x is equal to 5. Therefore, fraction is equal to 8 minus x divided by x, because x we have taken it as a denominator, then numerator is 8 minus x. Therefore 8 minus 5 divided by 5 is equal to 3 by 5. We are discarding x minus 24, x is equal to 24, because when you add those numbers, it has to be 8, then it has to be less than 8, then 5 is less than 8. That's why we have taken 8, because when we add numerator and denominator, it should be 8. When that x itself, if you take 24, then that's going to be wrong. Then that's why we have taken x equal to 5. Then fraction is going to be 8 minus x divided by x. That's going to be 3 by 5. Problems on ages. 5 years ago, woman's age was the square of her son's age. They are not telling the present age. 5 years ago, a woman's age was the square of her son's age. 10 years hence, 10 years after, her age will be twice that of her son's age. 5 years ago, what was her age? 10 years after, age will be twice her son's age. See, they are telling two relations, 5 years before and 10 years after. 5 years ago, the woman's age was square of her son's age. 10 years later, 10 years hence, her age will be twice that of her son's age. They are giving two relations here. They are asking us to find out the age of the son 5 years ago, not the present age, 5 years ago age, and the present age of the woman. You need to be very careful. They are not asking the present age of the son. The age 5 years ago of son's age and the present age of the woman. Let the son's age 5 years ago be x years. We are keeping son's age 5 years ago. That we need to find out in the first thing. The woman's 5 years ago would be x square. This is the condition they are given. 5 years ago, a woman's age was the square of her son's age. The square of son's age, the son's age 5 years ago was x. Then square of that is the age of woman's 5 years ago. The woman's age 5 years ago would be x square years. The son's present age, 5 years ago it was x years. Then now it's going to be plus 5 years, x plus 5 years. Woman's present age, the 5 years ago the woman's age was x square, x square. Then the present age of woman is going to be x square plus 5. We need to find out what is the age of the son 5 years ago. The second part, what is the present age? Present age of woman is going to be x square plus 5. X square plus 5 we need to find out. So once we find out the age of a son 5 years ago, then finding out the present age of woman will become easy. Then they are given one more condition. Her 10-year hence, her age will be twice that of her son's age. After 10 years, her age is going to be twice of her son's age. Son's age 10 years hence is going to be, present age is x plus 5 plus 10. After 10 years it is going to be 10. That's going to be x plus 10, 15 years of, that is going to be son's age. Woman's age 10 years hence. The present age of woman is x square plus 5. Add 10 to that. That's going to be x square plus 15 is going to be, x square plus 15 years is going to be 10 years after, woman's age after 10 years. After 10 years, woman's age is equal to twice son's age. After 10. We are not using this condition here. Son's age after 10 years is going to be the present age plus 10. By using the earlier relation, the woman's age 10 years hence, x square plus 5 is the present age. Before using the earlier condition, it's going to be this. But in the problem they are given, after 10 years, woman's age is going to be twice son's age. We have here woman's age, we already have this x square plus 5 using the earlier relation. Now in the problem they are given the condition, woman's age is going to be twice the age of the son's age. After 10 years, woman's is going to be, after 10 years, woman's age is x square plus 15. That's we found out here, x square plus 15. The condition what they were given, twice the age of son's age. Twice son's age. What is the son's age after 10 years? X plus 15. 2 times x plus 15. This is woman's age. This is son's age after 10 years. The relation between son and the woman is, woman's age is twice the son's age. Then x square plus 15 minus 2x minus 30 is equal to 0. Keep this in standard form. So this is the second relation, second condition they were given. First condition we already used it. This is second condition. By using those two, we got the standard equation as x square minus 2x minus 15 is equal to 0. This is standard form of quadratic equation. Once you get this, factorize that. X square minus 5x plus 3x will give 2x, minus 15 is equal to 0. Take out x as common, x minus 5 plus 3 as common, x minus 5 is equal to 0. X minus 5 is equal 5 into x plus 3 is equal to 0. X is equal to 5. Therefore, x square plus x is 5. This is son's age. X is equal to 5. This is 5 years. This is the son's age 5 years ago. Then x square plus 5 is the present age of the woman. X square is 5 square plus 5, that is equal to 25 plus 5 is equal to 30. X, the son's present age is 5 years. X square plus 5, woman's present age is equal to 30 years. the sum of ages of the father and his son is 45 years. So when you add the age of the father and the son, it's going to be 45 years. Sum of ages of a father and his son is 45 years. 5 years ago, go back to 5 years. That time, if you multiply their ages, that would be 34. 5 years ago, the product of their ages was 34. Find the ages of the son and the father. They are giving, if you add the present ages of the son and the father, it's going to be 45 years. If you go back 5 years and multiply their ages, it's going to be 34. They have given the two conditions. They're asking us to find out the age of son and father present. Let the present age of the father be x. We have taken the present age as x, so we need to find out x, the age of the present father's age. Then the present age of son is going to be 45 minus x years, because when we add the ages of the father and son is 45. Once we know the father's age is x, then son's age is going to be 45 minus x. That is equal to what? We need to find out x, which is a father's age, and 45 minus x is son's age. We need to find out these two. Then the other condition what they were given 5 years ago, father's age, that condition we'll use it later. The 5 years ago, the father's age, if the present age is x, 5 years ago it's going to be x minus 5 years. Son's age is going to be, present age of son is 45 minus x, is going to be minus 5. That is equal to 40 minus x years. The 5 years ago father's age was x minus 5 years. 5 years ago son's age was 40 minus x years. Now we'll use the second condition. The product of their age was 34. 5 years ago their product. This is the 5 years ago ages. Then multiply these two. Their product is going to be 34. The relation 5 years ago, x minus 5 into 40 minus x is equal to 34. Product of their ages 5 years ago. This is the age of the father, this is the age of the son 5 years ago. When you multiply their ages 5 years ago, that's going to be 34. Multiply this 40 into x, 40 into 5 is 200, minus into minus, plus 5x, x into x, x minus x square is equal to 34. X square, you bring these two, all these towards right hand side, because we want x square here positive. X square minus 45x, 40 plus 5, when this goes that side, minus 45x minus 200, this goes that side with 200 plus 34, 234. This is, then this is there in the standard form of quadratic equation. Then factorize that in such a way, you split minus 45 in such a way, when you add you should get minus 45, when you multiply you should get plus 234. When you add minus 39 and minus 6, you will get minus 45. When you multiply minus 39 and minus 6, you will get 234. X square minus 39x minus 6x plus 234 is equal to 0. Take out x as common, x minus 39 minus 6 as common, x minus 39 is equal to 0. Or take out of these two, x minus 39 is common, left out is x minus 6 equal to 0. Equate these two equal to 0. So x minus 39 is equal to 0. X is equal to 39 years. This is the father's age. We cannot take, we are rejecting x minus 6 is equal to 0 because father's age cannot be 6. The x 39 years is the father's present age. 45 minus x, that is 45 minus father's age, is equal to 6. It's going to be 6 years. That's going to be son's present age. The problem on time and distance. A car covers a distance of 400 kilometers at a certain speed. They have not given any speed. A car covers a distance of 400 kilometers at a certain speed. Had the speed been 12 km per hour more, certain speed, they have not given the speed. If he had increased the speed by 12 kilometers per hour, the time taken for the journey would have been 1 hour 40 minutes less. He was traveling at certain speed. If you would have gone at a little higher speed of 12 kilometers per hour, you would have saved 1 hour 40 minutes. Then find the original speed of the car. They are asking us to find out the original speed. He has already covered 400 kilometers with certain speed. If you would have traveled 12 kilometers per hour higher, then you would have saved 1 hour 40 minutes. So we need to find out the original speed. The original speed. Let the original speed of the car be x kilometer per hour, because we don't know what speed he was going. We are taking that as x kilometer. Time taken to cover 400 kilometers or original speed. This is the time taken. The speed is equal to distance divided by time. This is the distance traveled. This is 400 kilometers. This is the time. This is original speed. Time taken. This is time. Speed is equal to time. Speed is equal to distance traveled by time. When you want the time, it's going to be distance divided by speed. Speed is equal to distance traveled divided by time. We want time. Therefore, distance divided by speed will give the time. Time taken to cover the 400 kilometers at original speed is equal to distance traveled divided by speed. This is the original time taken with the original speed. New speed. They are asking us to increase the speed by 12 kilometers per hour. So original speed was 12. The new speed is 12 plus x plus 12 kilometer per hour. Time taken to cover that 400 kilometers, if you would have gone through the new speed, then distance traveled divided by the new speed. New speed is x plus 12 kilometer per hour. This is the time taken with the old speed. This is time taken with the new speed. So they're telling if you would have gone with the new speed, you would have saved 1 hour 40 minutes. Then the difference with new speed, the difference of time with new speed, the difference of time with new speed is the original time, that is 400 divided by x, minus new time, that is 400 divided by x plus 12 is equal to 1 hour 40 minutes. Let us convert this 40 minutes into hours. 60 plus 40, that is equal to 100 minutes. 100 minutes divided by 60 will convert into hours. That's going to be 5 by 3 hours. This is the difference in time. Then take out 400 as common. Then left out with 1 by x minus 1 divided by x plus 12 is equal to 5 by 3. How did we get 5 by 3? We converted 1 hour 40 minutes into hours, 5 by 3 hours. Then 400 we have taken out. Take the LCM, x into x plus 12. This goes here, x plus 12 minus x is equal to 5 by 3. When they cross multiply these two, 1 by 5 by 3 into 1 by 400, that's equal to 1 by 240. This x got cancelled. Then x square plus 12x, x square plus 12x minus 2880. When you multiply 240 into 12, you will get 2880. When you bring this side, it will become minus. This is in the standard form of quadratic equation. Then split this in such a way that when you add, you should get this. When you multiply, you get this. X square plus 60x minus 48x minus 2880 is equal to 0. Then take out x as common. X plus 60 minus 48 into x plus 60 is equal to 0. Then x plus 60 into x minus 48 is equal to 0. Equate. This is equal to 0. X is equal to 48. X cannot be minus 60 as the speed cannot be negative. Then x is equal to 48. X, the original speed of the car, is equal to 48 km per hour. The speed of the express train is x km per hour. They are given the x kilometer. And the speed of an ordinary train is 12 km per hour less than that of the express train. The speed of ordinary train is less than that of express train. How much less? 12 km per hour less than the express train. If the ordinary train takes 1 hour larger than the express train to cover a distance of 240 kilometers, so the express train goes faster. To cover the same distance, if it takes 1 hour larger than the express train to cover 240 kilometers, find the speed of the express train. So they have assumed the speed of express train as x. They are telling the speed of the express train, ordinary train, is 12 km per hour less than the express train. This is less than the express train. Then if it takes 1 hour long to cover, ordinary train takes 1 hour longer time to cover the 240 kilometers. We need to find out the speed of the express train. The speed of the express train is x km per hour. This is unknown. They already given that is unknown. The speed of ordinary train, they have given the relation between the express train and the ordinary train. X minus 12. That is 12 km less speed than the express train. This is the relation they have given. The speed of an ordinary train is 12 km/h less than the express train. This is the speed of the express train. 12 kilometers than the express train is speed of the ordinary train, kilometer per hour. The time taken, now the time taken comes. Time taken by the express train to cover 240 kilometers is equal to 240 divided by distance traveled divided by speed will give the time. Speed is equal to distance traveled divided by time. Therefore, time is equal to distance divided by speed. Distance divided by speed. Time taken by express train to cover 240 kilometers is equal to 240 divided by x hours. Time taken by the ordinary train to cover the express to cover the 240 kilometers is number of kilometers divided by speed. X minus 12 was the speed of the ordinary train. So now what they are telling, the difference, because this takes 1 hour more. The ordinary train takes 1 hour more compared to express train. This is the difference, 1 hour difference is there. Then speed taken by the ordinary train minus the speed taken by the express train is equal to 1. We more time taken minus the less time taken. That's why we get 1. More time taken by the ordinary train minus the less time taken by the express train is equal to 1. The difference between the time of two trains is 1 hour. Then take out, this is the relation. Once you get this relation, rest will become easy. Take out 240. Take out 240 as common. 1 divided by x minus 12 minus 1 by x is equal to 1. Then take the LCM, then cross multiply 1 divided by 240 it will come. Take out the LCM of these two, x into x minus 2. This goes here, x minus, this goes here, x minus 12 is equal to 1 divided by 240. This x and this x got cancelled, this into this and this into this, minus into minus will plus, 12 into 240. 12 into 240 is equal to x square minus 12x. Then x square, bring this towards right, x square minus 12x minus 2880 is equal to 0. This is standard form of quadratic equation. Split the center part, this 12x into two parts in such a way that when you add you should get, when you multiply you should get that x square minus 60x plus 48x minus 2880 is equal to 0. Take out x as common, x minus 60 plus 48 you take it common, x minus 60 is equal to 0. X minus 60 if you take out common we will be left out with x plus 48. X minus 60 into x plus 48 is equal to 0. X minus 60 is equal to 0. So we are rejecting x is equal to minus 48 as the speed cannot be negative. Then you taking x is equal to, when you equate this to 0, then x will become 60 kilometers per hour. The speed of the express train is 60 kilometers per hour. An aeroplane traveled a distance of 400 kilometers at an average speed of x kilometer per hour. It is traveled 400 kilometers. The speed was x kilometer per hour. On the return journey, the speed was increased to 40 kilometers per hour. The speed was increased on the return journey. Write down an expression for the time taken for an onward journey and a return journey. If the return journey took 30 minutes less than the onward journey, write an equation in x and find the value of x. Here, aeroplane is traveling 400 kilometers and coming back 400 kilometers. While going it was x kilometer per hour. While coming back the speed will be 40 kilometers increased. We have two speeds here. Then the distance is there. We need to find out, we need to write an expression for the time. We know that speed is equal to distance divided by time. We know the speed, we know the distance. Usually we can write the expression for the time. So the onward journey, in onward journey is the speed x kilometer per hour. The distance traveled is 400 kilometers. Therefore time taken is equal to distance divided by speed. That distance is 400 kilometers and speed is x kilometer per hour. The time taken will be 400 divided by x hours. In the return journey, on return journey, the speed has increased by 40 km per hour. Therefore, original speed plus the 40 km per hour. The return journey speed will be x plus 40 km per hour. Then time taken is equal to distance divided by speed. The distance is same, 400 divided by the new speed. That's going to be x plus 40. 400 divided by x plus 40 hours. The difference in time, they're telling that there is a difference of 30 minutes while coming back. Return journey, if the return journey took 30 minutes less than the onward journey, write down the equation in x. Return journey is less, 30 minutes less. Therefore, difference in time is equal to the original, the forward journey, onward journey, that 400 divided by x minus return journey time is 400 divided by x plus 40, that is equal to 30 minutes. Convert this into minutes, convert this minutes into hours. 30 divided by 60 will give hours 1 by 2. Then take out 400 as common, left out is 1 by x minus 1 by x plus 40 is equal to off. then cross multiply 1 divided by 2 into 400, this x got cancelled, take the LCM of these two, then x plus 40 minus x got cancelled, then when you cross multiply 800 into 40 will get x here x square plus 40x minus 32,000, this is in the standard form, then factorize this. So split this 40 in such a way that when you add you should get 40, when you multiply you get minus 32,000, x square plus 200 minus 160 minus 32,000 is 0, take out x as common, x into x plus 200 minus 160 as common, x plus 200, then x plus 200 into x minus 160, then we are neglecting this x plus 200 is equal to 0 because x has the speed cannot be negative, then we are taking x minus 160 is equal to 0, x is equal to 160 kilometers. This is the speed of the average speed of the aeroplane. A plane left 30 minutes later than the scheduled time, and in order to reach the destination 1500 kilometers away in time, it had to increase its speed by 250 kilometers per hour from the usual speed. Find its usual speed. See, the flight has left 30 minutes late to cover a distance of 1500 kilometers. They wanted to reach in scheduled time. For that, they have increased the speed by the 250 kilometers per hour than the usual speed. We need to find out the usual speed. Then, so we'll get the time difference equations, two equations. Then we have a difference of time is half an hour. If you equate those two, we'll get an answer. Let the usual speed of the plane be x kilometer per hour. The time taken to cover the journey at usual speed, the time will be distance divided by speed. Distance is 1500, the usual speed is x. Then we'll get the time taken with the usual speed. With new speed is going to be, because the flight has left 30 minutes late, they have increased the speed to cover to reach in time 250 kilometers. The usual speed plus 250 kilometers per hour extra. The time taken to cover the journey at new speed is equal to distance divided by speed, new speed, that is x plus 250. The difference between these two will give the covered, the managed, because they left half an hour late. That is the difference. This is the time taken with the old speed. This is the time taken with the new speed, with increased speed of 250 kilometers per hour extra. That's going to be half an hour. 1500 divided by x. This is the old time taken with the old usual speed. This is the time taken with the new speed. That is equal to half an hour. Take out 1500 out, then 1 common, 1 divided by x minus 1 divided by x plus 250, that's equal to half. Then take the LCM, x into x plus 250, then this is cross multiplied here, then this goes here and this goes here, x plus 250 minus x, this x get cancelled, this is going to be x square plus 250, that's equal to 250 into 3000, that will give x square plus 250. Here we were 1500 divided by x minus 1500 divided by x plus 250 is equal to half an hour. Take out 1500 as common, 1 divided by x minus 1 divided by x plus 250 is equal to half. Take the LCM of these two, x into x plus 250, this goes here and this goes here, x plus 250 minus x, that's equal to 1 divided by 2 into 1500, then x square plus 250, this x got cancelled, x square plus 250x is equal to 250 into 3000, then x square plus 250x minus 750000 is equal to 0. This is in standard form of quadratic equation. To find out this split into two parts, where you will get, when you add these two will get 250, when you multiply you will get this, x square plus 1000 minus 750x minus 7,50,000 is equal to 0. Take out x as common, x plus 1000 minus 750 as common, x plus 1000 is equal to 0. X plus 1000 as common, then x minus 750 is left out, is equal to 0. X plus 1000 is equal to 0 or x minus 750 is equal to 0. We are taking x minus 750 is equal to 0, then it will become x is equal to 750 kilometers per hour. We are neglecting x equal to minus 1000 as the speed cannot be negative. The usual speed of the plane is 750 kilometers. The forming the equation according to the condition is more important. Once you form the right equation, then simple calculations will get you to the answer. A motor boat whose speed is 15 kilometers per hour in still water, where the water is still, on that water the speed of the motor boat is 15 kilometers per hour, goes 36 kilometer upstream. It is going against the stream at the speed of 36. It travels at a distance of 36 kilometers and comes back to the starting point in 5 hours. It goes upstream 36 kilometers and comes back in the downstream 36 kilometers. Total time taken is 5 hours. A motor boat whose speed is 15 kilometers per hour in still water. That boat goes 36 kilometers upstream, that is against the stream, and comes back with the stream downstream. The total time taken is 5 hours. We need to find out the speed of the stream, the water flow. The speed of the water flow we need to find out. Let the speed of the stream be x. The unknown we are keeping it as x kilometer per hour. Speed upstream. The speed of the boat upstream is going to be 15 minus x. This is the speed of the stream. We have to minus it because it is going against the stream. The boat is going against stream of speed x kilometer per hour. We need to minus the speed of the boat by minus x. 15 minus x kilometer per hour. This is the speed of the boat upstream. The speed downstream. The boat is traveling at the 15 kilometers per hour and the stream also flowing at the speed of x kilometer per hour. Then speed downstream is going to be 15 kilometer per hour. Time taken to cover 36 kilometer. Time taken to cover 36 kilometer upstream. That's going to be distance traveled divided by speed. This is the speed of the boat upstream. That will give the time taken to cover 36 kilometer upstream. Then time taken to cover 36 kilometer downstream. That is going to be distance divided by speed. This is the speed downstream. Then that will give the time taken. Then total time of the journey is, they have given it as 5 hours. The upstream time divided plus downstream time will give the total time. This is the upstream. 36 divided by 15 minus x is the upstream time. Then this is the downstream time. 36 divided by 15 plus, that is equal to 5 hours. Once you get to this form, then it will be easy. Take out 36 as common in this, then 1 divided by 15 minus x plus 1 divided by 15 plus x is equal to 5. Then take the LCM of these two, 15 minus x and 15 plus x. Then this goes here, x got cancelled, 15 by 36, this 36 comes here. Then 15 plus 15 is 30. This is a minus b into a plus b. 15 square minus x square is equal to 5 by 36. 5 6 then 6 into 36 is equal to 15 square minus x square, that is equal to 216 is equal to 225. 15 into 15 is 225 minus x square. There x square is equal to 225. 220, this goes this side and this comes this side. Then x square is equal to 225 minus 216. X square is equal to 9. X is equal to 3. Hence, the speed of the stream is 3 kilometer per hour. We are not taking minus 3. When you take out x square square root, it's going to be plus or minus 3. We are taking plus because speed cannot be negative. Then the speed of the stream is 3 kilometer per hour. Problems on time and work. A can do a piece of work in x days. A can do a piece of work in x days, x number of days. And B can do it the same work in x plus 16 days. There is some work, A can do it in x days, B can do it in x plus 16 days. If both working together can do it in 15 days, if both of them working together, they can finish it off in 15 days. We need to find out the value of x. A's 1 day's work is equal to 1 divided by number of days taken by the A. A's 1 day's work is equal to 1 divided by x. B's 1 day's work is equal to 1 divided by total number of days he has taken, x plus 16. A's 1 day's work is equal to 1 divided by number of days. B's 1 day's work is equal to 1 divided by x plus 6. Then A plus B's 1 day's work, total A plus B together, that's going to be 1 days of A plus 1 days of B. 1 days of A is 1 divided by x plus 1 days of B is 1 divided by x plus 16. But they were given A and B together can do a work in 15 days. That is, therefore, A and B, A plus B's 1 day's work is equal to 1 by 15th day, 1 divided by 15, 1 days. Both together can finish it off in 15 days. Therefore, A plus B's 1 day's work is 1 by 15. So we have two equations of A plus B's 1 day's work, A plus B's 1 day's work. We can equate these two. If you equate these two, we'll get an equation. If you solve that equation, you will get the value of x. See, there are x days as worked. If you divide by the number of days, you will get 1 days. B has worked x plus 16 days. If you divide by that, you will get 1 day's work. So we are equating, then we are adding those two, then they are telling that they are going to finish in 15 days. Therefore, together 1 day's work is going to be 1 divided by 15. From 1 and 2, 1 by x plus 1 divided by x plus 16 is equal to 1 by 15. Once you get the rest is simple calculation. Take the LCM of these two and cross multiply and solve. So LCM of these two is x into x plus 16. This goes here, x plus 16 plus 6. This is equal to 1 by 15. Then this x square plus 16, x square plus 16, this goes this side. X plus x, 2x into 15 is 30x. 16 into 15 is 240. Then x square is this side, bring all these things this side. X square 16, 30 minus 30x plus 16x is equal to minus 14x. When this comes this side, minus 240 is equal to 0. This is in the standard form of quadratic equation. Once you reach the quadratic equation, then factorize. X square is split 14x minus 14x in such a way when you add you get minus 14, when you multiply you should get minus 240. X square minus 24x plus 10x minus 240 is equal to 0. Take out x as common, x minus 24 plus 10 is common, x minus 24 is equal to 0. X minus 24 common here and left out is x plus 10 is equal to 0. X minus 24 is equal to 0 or x plus 10 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 24. We are neglecting this because x is equal to minus 10 is since not equal to minus 10, since number of days cannot be negative. Therefore, x is equal to 24. One pipe can fill a cistern in 3 hours less than the other. One pipe takes more time and one pipe takes less. One pipe can fill a cistern in 3 hours less than the other. The two pipes together can fill it in 6 hours 40 minutes. Find a time that each pipe will take to fill the cistern. We need to find out what is the time taken by each pipe to fill the cistern. Let the pipe A take x hours to fill the cistern. It is taking x hours. Let the B pipe, let the pipe B take x plus 3 hours to fill the cistern, because they are telling one pipe takes less than 3 hours. Then A takes less than 3 hours compared to B. The part of the cistern filled by A in 1 hour. Total time taken is x hours. Then we want to in 1 hour. 1 divided by x will give the part of the cistern filled by A in 1 hour is equal to 1 divided by x hours. Part of the cistern filled by B in 1 hour is equal to 1 divided by x plus 3. The total time, 1 divided by total time taken to fill the thing will give the part of the cistern filled by B in 1 hour is equal to 1 divided by x plus 3. Part of the cistern filled by A plus B in 1 hour. Part, this is the part filled by A in 1 hour. This is the part filled by B in 1 hour. Combined A and B is 1 by x plus 1 divided by x plus 3. This is the A and B part of the cistern filled by A and B in 1 hour is equal to 1 by x plus 1 divided by x plus 3. But they have given total time taken by both A and B to fill a cistern. Both A and B taken 6 hours 40 minutes. They have taken 6 and 40 minutes together. Let us convert this 40 minutes into hours. 40 divided by 60 will give an hour. Then 6 into 2 by 3 will give 6, 2 by 3, 6, 2 by 3 hours. Therefore, 6, 3 is 18 plus 2 is 20 by 3 hours. This is the total time taken by A and B to fill the whole cistern. Then part of the cistern filled by both A and B in 1 hour is going to be 1 divided by total time taken, 20 divided by 3, 20 divided by 3. This goes up 3 by 20. Part of the cistern filled by both A and B in 1 hour is going to be 3 by 20. From 1 and 2, we have two equations. Part of the cistern filled by A and B in 1 hour, we have one equation here. Part of the cistern filled by A and B in 1 hour is we have one more equation, that is 3 by 20 according to the condition given in the problem. From 1 and 2, we'll equate these two. From 1 and 2, we are equating those two. 1 divided by x plus 1 divided by x plus 3 is equal to 3 by 20. Take the LCM, that is x into x plus 3. This goes here and this goes here. X plus 3 plus x is equal to 3 by 20. Then this is 2x plus 3 into 20. 3 into x square plus 3. Then 40x plus 60 plus 3x square plus 9. Then these things will come this side, 3x square. 40x minus 9x is minus 31x. This comes this side, minus 60 is equal to 0. This is the standard form of quadratic equation. Then split this into two parts in such a way that when you add those two will give minus 31. When you multiply, you should get minus 60 into 30. That will give 3x square minus 36x plus 5x minus 60 is equal to 0. Take out 3x as common. X minus 12 plus 5 into x minus 12 is equal to 0. Take out x minus 12 as common in this. 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. X minus 12 is equal to 0, or 3x plus 5 is equal to 0. Therefore, x is equal to 12. A, the first pipe takes 12 hours to fill the cistern, while the B will take, that's going to be x plus 3. B alone can fill in 12 plus 3, that is in 15 hours. Problems on mensuration. The perimeter of a rectangular field is 104 meters and its area is 640 meters square. Find the dimensions. They are given the perimeter of a rectangular field. They are given the area. We need to find out. Area of that rectangular field is 640 meters square. Then the perimeter is given by 104. Perimeter of this thing is 2 times length plus 2 times breadth. That will give to be 2 into L plus B. Perimeter they have given it as 104 is equal to 2 into L plus B. Therefore, L plus B is equal to 104 divided by 2. That will give 52 meters. Therefore, breadth is equal to L. Let us keep one variable so that we can easily find out. Therefore, B is equal to 52 minus L meters. They have given area. Area can be written as length into breadth. Area they have given it as 640 meters square. That's equal to length. We are keeping it as L. Breadth is going to be 52 minus L, so that we will have one variable. We can easily find out that 640 is equal to 52 L minus L square. Therefore, L square minus 52 L plus 640 is equal to 0. This is in standard form. Once you get into the standard form, then factorize to get the unknown. Factorize L square is split into two parts, so that when you add you should get this, when you multiply you should get 640 minus 32 minus 20L plus 640 is equal to 0. Take out L as common. L minus 32 minus 20 into L minus 32. Take out L minus 32 as common. Left out is L minus 20 is equal to 0. L minus 32 is equal to 0, or L minus 20 is equal to 0. Therefore, L is equal to 32 and L is equal to 20. The length L is equal to 32 meters. The breadth is going to be 20 meters. These are the dimensions of the field. Within a rectangular garden 10 meters wide and 20 meters long, this is the dimensions of a rectangular garden. We wish to pave a walk around the borders of uniform width, so has to leave an area of 96 meters for flowers. How wide should be the walk be? We need to find out the width of the walking path. They were given the total width and the length of a field. They are given the area of a garden as 96 square meters. This is the garden. This is the total area of this rectangular garden. This 10 meters wide and 20 meters long. In that, they have left out this area for this gardening, and they are asking us to leave some equal width for a walking path, and asking us to find out the walking path. The length of the garden is 20 meters. The breadth of the garden B is equal to 10 meters. Let the width of the walk path be x. Let this be x. We need to find out x. Then L1. Then length. This length is going to be this length is going to be total width minus this, we need to minus these two, x plus x, we need to minus with this to find out the thing. L1 flower garden, L1 of flower garden is equal to 20. This length is equal to this length is equal to total length minus this plus this. Length of the garden, length of this is equal to 20 minus 2x. Why 2x? This x plus this x. Breadth of the flower garden is equal to 10, total length minus this, minus these two, 10 minus 2x, this plus this. This is the width of the breadth of the flower garden. Area of the flower garden, they have given it as 96 meter square. L into B1, 20. Area of the flower garden is equal to L1 into B1. L1 we just now found out as 20 minus 2x. This is breadth. B1 is 10 minus 2x. When you multiply 200, 20x minus 40x, minus into minus plus 4x square. But they have given the area of the garden as 96 meter square from 1 and 2. This is the equation we just now found out, and this is the area they have already given. 4x square minus 60x plus 200 is equal to 96. Then you divide, you bring this one this side, that will become 200 minus 96 will be 104. Then divide whole thing by 4. X square minus 15x plus 26 equal to 0. This is in standard form of quadratic equation. Once you get to standard form of quadratic equation, you factorize, you split the 15x in such a way that when you add, you should get, when you multiply with 26, x square minus 13x minus 2x plus 26 equal to 0. X is common, x minus 13 minus 2, x minus 13 is 0. Equate x minus 13 and x minus 2 to 0. X minus 13 is equal to 0, x minus 2 is equal to 0. X is equal to 2. You cannot have a walk path which is greater than the regular dimension. That's why we are neglecting 13. Then x is equal to 2. Therefore, width of the walk path is 2 meters. Problems on geometrical figures. In a right angle triangle, the hypotenuse is 2 centimeters larger than the base. Hypotenuse is 2 centimeters larger than the base and 4 centimeters larger than the shorter side. They are given the hypotenuse in terms of base and the shorter side. Find the lengths of the three sides of the triangle. This is the right angle triangle, this is the hypotenuse, this is the base, this is the thing. This is 2 times greater than the base. This hypotenuse is 4 times therefore this is going to be 4, x minus 4, this is going to be x minus 2. Let the hypotenuse be x centimeters, then base is going to be x minus 2, because hypotenuse is 2 centimeters larger than the base. Therefore, base is going to be x minus 2, x is hypotenuse, shorter side is x minus 4 centimeters. By Pythagoras theorem, we know that hypotenuse square is equal to base square plus the perpendicular. Then x minus 2 whole square plus x minus 4 whole square. X minus 2 whole square plus x minus 4 whole square is equal to x square. Then expand these two, x square minus 4x plus 4 plus x square minus 8x plus 16 is equal to x square. So x square minus 4x minus 8x then plus 20 is equal to 0. This is in the standard form of quadratic equation. Then factorize this. After factorization, we got it x is equal to 10 centimeters. Hypotenuse is 10 centimeters. Base is going to be x minus 2, that is 8 centimeters. Shortest side is equal to x minus 4 is equal to 6 centimeters.